Probably the biggest moment where I realized I was gonna have to make a commitment to dancing was when I was asked to do the spring showcase for the Robinson Ballet Company in 2011. That was probably the biggest moment. I had taken a dance class the previous semester, and I got into a couple company partnering classes with the ballet company when they said, "Hey, we'd like you to perform." And so now it was like out of the realm of learning and it was actually performing. So it was probably the biggest moment where I was like, I'm gonna have to make a commitment to dancing. So this past summer, working for the Mainbound Adventure Center, I was hired as the chief bike mechanic, and I fix bikes and I like to think I do my job rather well. But I wanted to get into the other aspects of it, and I'm working around my fear of being underwater. So paddling sports is going to take a while, but I got into rock climbing this summer, like heavily, and I started with like no knowledge. Like I learned how to belay in May, and by the end of the summer season, I was doing I was going up this 1,000-foot climb down North Conway Standard Route. Led my first traditional climb, like placing gear and setting up the anchors and guiding people up. So I really like latched onto it. Oddly enough, the same way I did with dance, where it's just like full force. I just like took in as much as I could. And first time I started a multi-pitch climb, I was with my boss and one of my other coworkers, and we were doing my time out in Big Chick Hill. So I get up to the top, and I'm just like, I'm shaking. I am shaking worse than like any other like pre-performance or like anything like on stage before. Like looking out, I'm 100 feet up off the ground, and I'm anchored in by this little Dyneema sling into a friggin' bolt this big that's drilled into the rock. Of course, like I'm gonna like flip turds. Like this is scary. My boss is like, hey, just take it easy. Like he gives me some stuff to keep me busy, and he's like, just like with your performances and stuff, it's perfectly natural to get jitters. The first time around doing this kind of stuff. He's like, but you can do this. You can do this. So, kind of calmed down, collected my wits, and so it's face climbing. So it was slab. So a lot of like crimping and. There wasn't like the big holds to like, do like a hand jam or like, Gaston. It's just like crimps the whole way up. And so my boss is like, hey, just go as far as you feel comfortable with. And so, I was like, man, too many times where it's just like, do what's comfortable, do what I can. And so I started kind of getting into like my dancing mindset. It's like, all right, if I'm learning a piece of choreography, like start with the first step. Gotta start with the first step, get the first step right, get the second step right, get the second step right, and get the third step right. So I was working my way along, and just rock climbing is a total solving a puzzle. Where to put the hands, where to put the feet, and I'm putting on these little crimps, and I'm wearing these. I wear like a street shoes, like a 9.5, 10. And I'm friggin' wearing these size 7 climbing shoes, which oddly enough feel like very similar to like ballet point shoes, just more painful because you're on a little rock. So I'm making moves like one at a time. It's like, all right, I'll make it to this bush, I'll make it to this ledge, like rest a moment. Once or twice I had to have them, pull up the slack so I could like rest for a moment. But I was just like, remember it clear as day. My boss was like, how you doing? And I was like, I'm making it one step at a time. He's like, your technique looks flawless. You look like you're dancing up the wall. The ballet is paying off for you. And, as I'm like, I got like a foot up and like I'm moving along. I was like, yeah, I guess this is. And I started thinking like in terms of dancing, like understanding like how my body needs to balance, and I started actually like saying different terminologies for like ballet moves. So it's like développé à la seconde, and I was like, put my foot out onto like this little crimper, and I was like, and just like grabbed a little crimper. So it was like, it kind of became like this thought process of like, is like learning, like, it's like using language you already knew to kind of mix it with another one. So when my boss said that to me, I started thinking in terms of like, how can my dancing help my rock climbing? And so I got to the top, did a 5.9 plus, which I was like more than friggin' pleased with, and it was thanks to dancing. As much as I'd like to be hopeful that some professional gig comes its way, I am well aware of the fact that people who go into the realm of like professional dancing is far and few between. And on top of that, I think it was the New York Times put it, dancing is one of the worst jobs to have. No health benefits. Most people's careers end by the time they're 30. And, they've got bad knees, bad joints, arthritis, they're just like hobbled and basically useless. And I love dancing and I enjoy it very much, but not to the point of completely destroying my body, because I do have many other interests that I'd like to do for a very, very long time. So I'll still probably take dance classes, and I'll still practice dancing when I can, but I don't see myself pursuing a monetary career out of dancing.